Okay, first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the family and their families out there. Really appreciate the support we got from Bills Mafia down here the last couple of days. Awesome to see. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone back home in Buffalo. Can't wait to see you guys back home. And one thing I do want to point out, I thought the kickoff coverage, I know it's probably not going to be written about, but that's okay. I'll mention it anyway. Kickoff coverage was outstanding. Special teams, I thought, did a terrific job giving us a spark and the energy we needed. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
I wrote about Andre Smith on Twitter.
Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it.
But I want to ask you, start off, speaking of special teams, Isaiah, big decision this week to keep him down. How did he handle that? It seemed like Mike had talked about, him kind of being selfless.
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitive guy, and I understand he wants to be out there, and so that's those emotions are real, and I get that.
Were you happy with Stevenson? I mean, not the one, but you did the couple. Were you happy with how he handled it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we can't. It was his first game, so there's work to be done there. But I thought he handled himself fairly well in his first game. More than anything, I thought he came in and, having not played in particular for a few months, he handled himself well. So it's really about, number one, taking care of the football. That's number one. That's the number one thing I'm looking for.
Sean, what can you tell us about TreDavious White?
Don't know Josh at this point. So I think we'll know more in the next couple of days here.
When you see, I mean, obviously it's always the next man up, and I know that's what you preach and everything, but TreDavious it's a special player right there.
Yep.
When you see him go down like that, what kind of goes through your head?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I care for all of them the same, regardless of the caliber of player. So we just pray that it's that he's back, and we'll just see where it goes. So we'll just take it one day at a time here.
What do you think Dane did coming in?
I thought he did a good job. Yeah, I thought he did a good job. He's been in that position before in terms of having to come in, whether it's been for Trey or Levi, and he usually handles himself well, just like he did tonight.
Did you feel, Sean, that Breida gave you a little bit of a spark in the run game?
I thought both backs ran well. I thought we had a couple opportunities in the first half overall as an offense that we didn't come away with points, or we should have come away with more points, and so we got to look at that. But overall, we were able to overcome the turnovers in the first half, and I thought our defense did a good job with the sudden change defense there. And but I thought both backs in the second half, in particular, ran strong.
Sean, I guess I'll bite. Tell me about this kick coverage.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it was. I'll tell you, I'll give the guys credit, man. And I trust them. I walked. We wanted to kick one out of the end zone when we were up a little bit, and we had a little bit of a lead there, and that was about 20 yards away, and they start looking at me like, and so I said, what do you want? And they said, let's try and pin him down there. I said, all right. So I trust them, and I think that was the one that got him on the 11. So it's fun to watch.
And what is it about that in terms of the fundamentals of that part of the game that, I don't know, I don't want to assume that you hadn't been pleased with it in the past. I don't want to read that into it.
Right.
But what was it about today that was so
Well, they were hungry. That's a really good returner as well, and I think they're one of the tops in the league with their return game, and our kickoff coverage was outstanding, and our offense moved the ball well enough that we could get in some sky punt or some pooch punt situations, and I thought Matt Hawk did a great job as well.
Talking to Mario just now, how much did that D-line, him specifically, Jerry Hughes, how much did they take it personally what happened Sunday?
Yeah. By the way they played, the message hit home, right? And that's what I expected, to be honest with you. That's what veteran leaders do. They lead by their play, and the physicality of our defense, I thought, was where it needed to be.
On the 4th and 2, you could have kicked a field goal. You went for it. Josh, we asked him about showing faith in them in that moment. Do you feel that way in that moment where it's like, I have faith, and then he came through for it?
I do. I thought it was a great call by Coach Dable and well executed. That's what you want. You want to be able to trust your players, and there'll be other situations where we go for it, don't go for it, but at the end of the day, I'm always trying to put the team in the right position to win the game based on score, based on situation.
Why is Dawson having so much success this season?
I think he's using different hair products this year than he did in years before. He's just confident. I think, part of over half this game is mental, and I think his confidence is where it needs to be this year. He's had success, and then he's been able to bounce back from some moments where he needed to reset, and I think that shows how mentally tough he is.
What's it like for you seeing a guy, Dawson, he missed a couple games with a broken hand, to come back and resume having the season that he was having?
Yeah, I mean, again, that shows how mentally tough he is, and it's great to have him out there. I know Josh has a lot of faith in him.
Sean, can you speak to the way your team, I mean, you've had, we talked about this earlier this week, 2 tough losses, and you bounced back really well after both of those. Can you speak to your team's ability? I know you don't want to keep doing it, but you've done very well when you've had to bounce back after a really bad performance. Yeah,
it's a resilient group, and I think they respond to a challenge, and we'll be challenged this week, as we look ahead to the Patriots, and that'll be a big challenge for us.
Sean, just to clarify on Isaiah, is that just a lineup decision on your part, or is
my decision?
Okay,
Yeah,
he's
my
not
decision.
dealing with any injury right now?
No, my decision.
Sean, we talked a lot about the penalties and how much of an issue they've been to get out of today overall.
Yeah.
So few. What changed? How do you keep that going?
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to make it a conscious effort to play with good technique and good fundamentals and move your feet and get your hands inside, and that's that's all three sides of the ball. I know we had the one penalty on the quarterback. I thought they should have been called for one, quite honestly, on Josh. Really frustrated that doesn't get called. Really frustrated. That's clear as day to see that, and I just I want to protect my quarterback, and so anyway. But yeah, I thought overall we did a better job playing discipline, playing with better technique, and so it's got to continue.
Do you feel like that's been happening a lot with Josh that did not call on you?
I'm not going to get into all that. I don't want to. That's I'm not about distractions. I'm just about what I saw out there from a player safety standpoint and what's getting called. That one. I'm sure that they want that back.
Are you talking about the one on your
third quarter? It was third quarter. He wasn't running out of bounds. No, it was third quarter, and he took a shot low, and no one was blocked into him. So
by your side, right?
I couldn't even tell you exactly where it was, but
because there were a couple, and I'm trying to pinpoint which one it was.
Yeah.
Because he got pushed out of bounds on their sideline.
Right.
Like it was a late
Yeah, it's just the one. We can move on. I made my point.
So
Yeah, I
much
made
went
that
well
point.
tonight for you guys, offensively speaking, got going in the second half. I thought in the first half I saw one part where Emmanuel looked really frustrated with something. And during this time, we were trying to figure all this stuff, and there's going to be those frustrating moments. In your experience, does that help to kind of have those conversations on the sideline when you're trying to figure things out?
Give me. You're saying Emmanuel?
Yeah, he came off the field after a second down. He just looked frustrated and kind of sitting off to the side, talking to Josh afterwards.
Yeah.
Working through this stuff, because there's been frustrating times for this offense the last couple weeks.
Right.
A lot went well. Are those moments good?
Well, I mean, you look at the tale of two halves. The first half, there was more meat on the bone there. No pun intended for Thanksgiving, but in the second half, I thought we executed at a higher level. Even the screen to Breida in the high red zone there on 3rd and long, good call, and we executed, and we haven't always done that. I mean, we've gotten sloppy, I feel like, at times, and I felt like in the first half we were sloppy at times, and then we picked it up in the second half. So, listen, it's not always going to be exactly how you draw it up. But I expect more. I really do, and that's the standard that we have here.
What can the guys learn from the way the first half ended, with Knox's second touchdown being taken off the board and then Josh's pick? Yeah,
that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. I mean, it's that's not how you win games, playing like that. And we had a execution error there, and we were sloppy, right? We turned the ball over twice, especially in the red zone. Take points off the board. Should have been at least 3, let alone 7.
Sean, you talked a lot about Ed Oliver, the year he's having. What did you see out of him tonight and finally getting that sack?
Yeah, I thought the juice overall, the energy level of the team was outstanding, and the defensive line, I thought, did a good job leading that, as well as the special teams units. So that's what we're looking for, and I thought he did a good job with that.